Lectura en inglés para la asignatura de Integradora 2, parte 2. Coat of Arms of England. The coat of arms was introduced by King Richard of England in the 1190s. Apparently has a version of the arms of the Duchy of Normandy. Normandy currently uses two leopards, although an alternative historical version uses three leopards identical to the English arms. According to one tradition following the Norman conquest, an extra leopard was added to two existing Norman leopards to represent the combined Anglo-Norman realm. According to another tradition, the two leopards were combined with the single lion of Aquitaine on the acquisition of these continental territories by the English crown. Other heraldic authorities have claimed that at an early stage in the develop, development of heraldry, the number of Norman leopards was not fixed, and that is simply a matter of guessing as to why England has ended up with the three heraldic leopards, no calling lions, and Normandy white too. England national football team. The England national football team represents England, not the whole United Kingdom, in international football competitions such as the World Cup and the European Championships. It is controlled by the Football Association, the governing body for football in England. Partly thanks to historical accident and continuing national sentiment among them, each of the four home nations of the United Kingdom possesses its own separate football association, league, domestic league, national team, because the AOC does not accept regional representative teams. England, like the other three, do not compete in Olympic football. England are by far the most successful of the home nations, having won the World Cup and the British Home Championship outright 34 times, as many as the other three nations have won outright altogether. For the first years of its existence, the England team played its home matches at different venues all around the country. For the first few years, it used chicken grounds before later moving on to football clubs' stadiums. England played their first match at Wembley Stadium in the year after it was completed against Scotland, but, but for the next years would only use Wembley as a venue for Scotland matches. Other positions were still entertained at club grounds around the country. In May de 1951, Argentina became the first team other than Scotland to be entertained at Wembley, and be nearly of England's home matches were being played there. Between and England did not play a single home match anywhere else. England's last match, Wembley, before its demolition and reconstruction, was against Germany on October 7, a game which England lost 1-0. Since then, the team has played at different venues around the country, with Old Trafford having been the most often used. The FA have ruled that when the new Wembley is completed in mid-2006, England's travels will end and the team will play all of their home matches there until at least the main reasons for this financial. The FA did not own the old Wembley Stadium, but it does own the new one and has taken on debts of the hundreds of millions of pounds to pay for it. Thus, it needs to maximize the revenue from England matches on those not wish to share it with the owners of the grounds. Fish and chips. Fish and chips is deep fried fish in batter with deep fried potatoes and popular take away food. Fish and chips is originally from the United Kingdom but also very popular in Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, South Africa, and some coastal towns of the Netherlands and Norway, and also increasingly so in the United States and elsewhere. For decades it was denominated take-away food in the United Kingdom. The fried potatoes are called chips in British and international usage, and while American English calls them French fries, the combination is still called fish and chips. Potato chips, an American innovation, are a different potato derived food and are known as chips in the United Kingdom. Fish and chips have separately been eaten for many years, though the potato was not introduced to Europe Europe, Europe until the century. The originally Sephardi dish, pescado frito or deep fish fried, came to Netherlands and England, while the Spanish and Portuguese used in the centuries. The dish became popular in the more widespread circles in London and the southeast in the middle of the century. Charles Dickens mentions a fried fish warehouse in Oliver Twist, whilst in the north of England a trade in deep fried chipped potatoes developed. It is nuclear when and where these two trades were merged to become the fish and chips shop industry we know today. The first convenient fish and chip shop was probably the one opened in London by Joseph Malin in 1860.